this defect created by the excision of this tumor was in a very difficult location where we will not get a recipient vessel for anastomosis. So we couldn't think of a free flap. So we thought of local tissue transfers. So I decided to use two flaps, the superior gluteal artery perforator flap from the gluteus maximus, and even that wouldn't have been enough. So then we also changed the on-table plan to include a posterior slide swing thigh flap. Now, so normally what happens is that we didn't dissect the perforator right down. We had planned to do so initially. So this is the huge defect which was left. So had we just used one flap, just the thigh flap, we wouldn't have been able to cover it. So what actually was done in this case was that we used this whole skin and rotated it to cover the lower 1/3, because if you hadn't covered the sciatic nerve with a flap, the patient would never have been able to sit or walk, because this nerve would have finally eroded out if you had tried to give a skin graft. And then we used the gluteus maximus here to come right down. So initially I had planned to isolate the gluteus maximus on the superior gluteal artery perforators, which, as he described nicely, comes out from the side, comes out with the sciatic nerve, and then gives a big perforator on which the superior gluteal artery flap is based. We have used it very often for covering sacral pressure sores. But what happened, the patient was under spinal and epidural, and the procedure took so long that somehow after that the epidural catheter slipped and the patient started having sensation in the upper part of the back. So then on table we decided that we will not isolate the perforator, just rotate it as much as we can, and then the patient couldn't be given GA because she was prone. But I think even laterally the anesthetist managed to give us another epidural, and we managed to then use the thigh skin as a slide swing flap. I've just done this slide swing flap again last week for a sacral pressure, not a sacral pressure sore, but an ischial pressure sore. That means an ischial bed sore in a paraplegic. So as he told you about the classification of flaps, we are using flaps all the time to cover all kinds of defects, and these are based, and now the extensive studies about all the muscles and skin have been done. We normally use a lot of muscles. So the first type 1 is where you have only one supply to the muscle. Type 2 is that you have 2 or 3, but there's one dominant. Type 3 is where you have 2 dominant, like the gluteus maximus. That's why you can divide the gluteus maximus into 2. And that's what we did here. The lower half of the gluteus maximus was removed with the tumor, and the patient just had the upper half of the gluteus maximus remaining. And that is what we used on this vessel to rotate. And then you have the type 4 muscles, the sartorius, which again we have used to reconstruct a perineal ulcer following radiotherapy for a patient of carcinoma cervix. And then the type 5 latissimus dorsi, which we use very, very often as a free flap and a pedicle flap, where they have 2 dominant pedicles. So the ones coming from, these are the ones coming from the lumbosacral plexus and from the posterior intercostal vessels. These are divided, and you take it on the thoracodorsal vessels coming from the axillary artery. So basically these flaps are very, very useful, especially when you have huge defects left after cancer excision, and often nerves and vessels are all exposed. So unless you are able to cover those adequately, you will not be able to give a durable support to the patient. And even we have a pressure sores who are 9 years, 10 years follow-up, who have been given these kind of flaps. They are insensate and they are able to still carry on their normal activities with these flaps. Thank you.
So very good anesthetic support is required for this surgery.
Yes, yes, for all surgeries very good anesthetic support is required. And before I finish, I'd like to announce that Dr. Sujashish Sengupta has cleared his DNB practical, and so has Dr. Satish Prakash.